Hi everybody, welcome back. So this is going to be one of the last entrances into the putting this here computer together thing, whole adventure that we're having here. Today we're going to work on wiring and some plumbing and get the video card mounted, and we're going to be pretty close to done by the time we're done here. I still need to make the brackets to mount our radiator up to this here component. I have an idea of where to put our reservoir slash pump combo, and I guess we're going to see how everything falls together. So, without further ado, I'm Alex, and welcome to the Renaissance Builder. Now, at this point in the game, I'm not exactly sure which one's better to do, the plumbing or the wiring beforehand, which one should be done first, but I'm excited for the wiring. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way. There's not a whole lot of wiring that we have to run, but there is a bit. So we have our main 24-pin connector wired up here. We need two more 8-pin connectors for the CPU power on the motherboard, so we can get those out a while. And then we're going to need two more, at least I'm pretty sure it's two more 8-pin cables for the GPU as well. This kit comes with two 8-pin cables, so we're going to go ahead and hook these up for the motherboard. And they plug right up here in this top corner. If any of you guys are wondering, there's retention clips here. The narrow retention clip goes on the power supply, in case any of you guys are wondering. All right, and then, so that takes care, if I can show you this way. So we've got two 4x4 CPU power cables that run up to this corner of the motherboard. So we just got them running around the edge here to go down under to the power supply. Obviously, our 24-pin is going straight through our new modification hole there, and that goes down again to the power supply. Now, there's two more cables, and the cables that they ship are kind of, well, not universal, they're multi-purpose, but they are 6x8, so they're 6-pin connectors, but they have an additional 2 pins, making it an 8-pin. By the time we get to the final product, we'll have custom cables made, probably by CableMod, where they will be not only color-coded, but specifically for the chassis that we're working with. So we'll plug this into the 6x2 PCIe ports on the motherboard, the power supply. At this point, we have our 24-pin, those powered, and you know what I want to do right now? This might seem out of order. I don't know, maybe it is. I want to see if, so this is what I have for a pump res combo. It's called a SysCooling DC brushless pump. It's kind of special. I mean, it's legitimately ugly. Cheap Chinese piece that, you know, from overseas, whatever, shipped over. Is cheap, and I have it, so I'm gonna see if it works. I actually got it for a different project thinking it would work for that project, and it didn't. So we'll see if it works on this one. So if this piece of crap doesn't work, then I'm gonna end up using a dedicated pump and reservoir and see if I can make that will work. Well, that I know will work, but then I'd have to mount it up in here and all. We're just gonna see if this works for now. Because the other end of it is, I don't, I'd have to wire this thing in. And if I don't have to wire something in, then if I can get away without doing that, I get away without doing that. But I noticed this pump res actually fits quite nicely into the hard drive cage here. So I was like, all right, I'm good with that. Right like that. And she fits. If she fits, she sits. All right, cool. I'm good with that. All right, so now what I have to do is run a line, and what I'm going to do is run from the pump to the radiator, then from the radiator to, well, technically you're supposed to run radiator to the reservoir. That way you have a stored amount of cooled fluid. But this radiator is way bigger than we need it to be. It's that big because I had it. So this being way bigger than we need it to be, I can do it any way I want, and it'll work perfectly fine. It's overkill. So however I want to work it out, it'll work. But now we get into the tubing. So put this back over here. The tubing. The tubing's not complicated. I'm just going with the soft tubing for now. It's a test bench. I'm not worried about it. So this is your tubing. Now this isn't ordinary vinyl tubing. They call it an advanced LRT from Primoflex. It's not even, I'm gonna run it through our channel. Yes, I am. It's not even like I got the, you know, Primo Chill stuff. Literally, I just, all right, which one of these? This is the return. Literally just fits over top, just like that. So, you know, it's not like I'm going all out for some kind of special thing here. It's a test bench. But, anyhow, mind you, this is not your average vinyl tubing. I don't recommend using just any old vinyl tubing for this stuff. But at the same time, this really isn't all that special. Tubing cutters, pretty generic tubing cutters. And now I have to see which one is the in and out on this pump. If it even tells me. Well, you know what? It's a mystery. It's a mystery. Yep. All right, so we're going to hook it up to one of them, and I guess we'll find out. Put that on there. Slide that in. Now, that you'll notice that there is a fill port. There is a fill port on that reservoir, so we will have to pull the reservoir out to fill it up and to, you know, prime the system, so that's going to be a thing. But that's okay. And here's the next step. I really should get the brackets made, but Lowe's is closed right now, and it's like almost 12 o'clock. I thought there was a clock over there. It's like, you know, probably 10, 11 o'clock right now, so I'll make it tomorrow. So we'll make the brackets tomorrow, and I'll film that tomorrow. But essentially, I'm going to have this mounted right here. So I want my tubing runs to go accordingly. So I'm going to have one from the CPU go up to here, and then I'm going to have one from the pump go up to there. That should be pretty straightforward. And the only thing I have to consider is the graphics card. So the graphics card needs to not, I need to have this so that you know, we're not in the way of the graphics card. I can have it so that both tubes are run together so that that's not like odd. All right. So what I'll do is put this on. All right. And then you just have that run up to there, and then cut a little bit of extra, and we can trim it when it gets to that point. All right. Then I'll just go down the same hole. Yeah, that works. And then I'll just have that cut the length as well. Cool. So now, when we get to the point of mounting the radiator, then Our tubes are right there for us. But everywhere else, it's good. Now, I'm a little finicky. You probably don't need to do anything else with this tubing. In fact, I don't think you do. Like, you don't need to put hose clamps or anything on here. We're not dealing with high pressures. So I'm going to let it go. One of the keys to all this is you obviously you fill it up with water and check for leaks. I might even do this with air, but you check with leaks before you put, before you turn the power on. You can get a motherboard wet. It's actually Jay-Z's 2 cents. Look it up. Jay-Z's 2 cents did a great episode where they completely soaked a video card with water to the point that it, locked up and the thing still worked. Like, you dried it off, put it back on, boom, still worked. The electronics are robust these days. Anyhow, we can fill this thing with water, and then if it leaks, then we just dry it out. Like, make sure it's dry before we turn it back on again. Fix the leak, obviously. But we can do that. All right, so that's as far as I'm getting with the cooling run today. Like I said, I have to make a couple brackets for this, which won't be that difficult, but I have to make the brackets and to get that mounted and finish the cooling circuit. And then, So, now we're going to get on to the part that I've been really waiting for. Let's get this. Like, you guys that actually know your computers will recognize this as one of the best video cards on the market. There are better. Technically, so the T-Rex cards are not necessarily gaming cards. I mean, they're better video cards and then there's the Quadro cards, obviously. So there are cards out there that are better for production environments. But without spending $2,000 and more, this is about as good as it gets. So, but here's the thing. You know what? I've been thinking about this. Honestly, I'm not sure which is more exciting. The motherboard combination that we have here or the video card. Both are just as unique. Both are, I mean, as far as small form factor motherboards, you can't get any better than that. And with the equipment that we're putting on here, like, I could probably get a little better if I went and got some Trident Z Royal, with super low case latency and super fast. Like, this motherboard says it'll do 4800 megahertz RAM, which is ridiculously fast. Now, I have 4400 megahertz RAM, which I'm going to try in here. Probably will be better for gaming. But, we'll try it across and see. As far as the NVMEs, there are faster. Like, if I went with the Evo Pro, they're a little bit faster than the the Samsung Pro versus the Evo Plus. No, Evo Pro versus Evo Plus or Samsung Pro. Either way, the Pro version is a little bit faster than the Plus version, but not by much. So maybe I could make up there, but honest to God, we have not, this is not a budget build, and we haven't really sacrificed anywhere. But my point is, as exciting as this video card is, and everybody out there is going to be like, oh my God, you got that video card? Oh, you're rich. No, I'm broke. Yeah, so everybody out there is like, oh, you must be rich. No, I'm broke. I had to go into debt to get this thing. You must be rich. Suck it. Anyhow. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure which one is the most, but definitely together these things should be amazing. So, without further ado, our GeForce RTX 2080 Ti. I haven't even taken this thing out of the packaging. Like, oh, she's beastly. just beastly. I mean, it's heavy. Like, this sucker's heavy. Now, I know most of that weight is, you know, heat sink and all, but this sucker is beautiful. Just beautiful. So, here's the thing, too. You guys are going to love this. You're going to love this. I'm going to take it apart. My dad right now, and my mom, if she's watching, I swear right now, are smacking their foreheads. Because I'm that kid that took everything apart and couldn't put it back together. Well, I could, I just didn't. But, yeah, I'm the kid that took everything apart. So they're like, no. And I'm like, yes, because we're going to liquid cool it. We are going to liquid cool the GPU. Now, it's all part of the whole Sub-Zero thing. So everything in here is going to be cooled Sub-Zero. The CPU, the GPU, and every component within in the hermetic case is going to be cooled Sub-Zero. But the unique part of that is it's a negative 20 degree liquid cooling loop, which we're going to use a special phosphorus-based liquid that I have to get my hands on yet. But I've been researching it to find this stuff. You know what? A lot of people out there just use windshield washer fluid mix, but that is actually an alcohol blend, or it's either alcohol or glycol blend. Either way, both of those substances are not good for acrylic. So, like, it's not a good idea to have in a permanent rig. Whereas this other fluid is not chemically reactive with plastics, so it should be good to go. Should be. They've never actually used this fluid in this particular application, so we'll be trying it out. But yeah, that's the point. We're going to take this thing apart, and we're going to put I'm going to use Corsair's Hydro X system because, well, I like Corsair's Hydro X system. And so we're going to be using that, and Corsair makes the easiest. I've never taken a video card apart before. So when I do this, it's going to be our first time. So that'll be fun on camera. So if I break anything, you guys are going to be like, woo, on camera. But all right, so I'm meandering here. This is awesome. This is just awesome. All right, who wants to see the peel? Who wants to see the peel? Let's see if I can do this right. Beautiful peel. All right. Yes, this thing, it's bigger. It's bigger than the video cards I have in here. And, you know, compared to the cards, this thing will absolutely smack the pants off of both cards that I have in there. So, standard outputs. It's not really standard, actually, but we have one standard HDMI, 3 display ports, and 1 USB-C. So that's nice. Especially if I could find a USB-C monitor. That would actually be pretty awesome, actually. All right. Now, to show you guys how this mounts up. Now, this is going to mount up exactly the same way that you would mount a video card in any standard case. So what we need to do first is figure out which of these... How about we take the tubes out of our way for now. So the first thing we need to do is figure out which slots we're going to be taking out. So it looks like we're taking out these 2 slots here. Yes. All right, set this down. And here's what you want to do. You want to take the thumb screws out. Hold on to these little plates. Your standard cases have the same arrangement. They may not be mounted quite the same, but it has the same arrangement. You have to remove a guard to stick this in. All right, and you save that thumb screw too. So now you take these fingers, slip down right in, and then you make sure that the plug is secure.